Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Family Therapy Solutions. I'm Erin Callahan, your local licensed marriage and family therapist associate and chemical dependency counselor. So February is quickly approaching and I wanted to talk to some of you guys about those romantic relationships you've got going on. And with February and Valentine's Day comes high expectations. So, do you know your partner's love language? It can be kind of hard. And even if you ask them, it might be a little bit challenging to figure it out. But pay attention to what these 5 languages of love are. So there's words of affirmation, and these might be compliments like, wow, you look really nice today, or no, you don't look fat in that dress at all. Or there's acts of service that is like helping out around the house or changing someone's windshield wipers for them, just so that they have a good ride, and changing their oil or whatever. Even though that might not speak to you, that might be your partner's way of letting you know that they love you. So keep that in mind. Sometimes the way we express love to another person isn't necessarily the way that they express it back to us. So keep in mind you may be speaking different languages. The third is receiving gifts. That's always nice, but for some people, they could care less. So gotta pay attention to that. And other people are gonna be like, yeah, send me all the gifts you want. I like flowers at work and I like expensive things, so do it. The fourth one is spending quality time together. So some people, more than receiving gifts or more than receiving compliments, they want to know you care by your actions. So they're going to want to snuggle on the couch, they're going to want to talk on the phone, they're going to want to spend time with you, they're going to want to have to feel that connection with you to know you guys are really on the same page. That's what speaks to them the most. And the very fifth one is physical touch. This isn't just for the guys, this is also for the ladies, and it doesn't just mean sex. It can also mean back massages. It can be that simple little touch at the end of the day, like, hey babe, how was your day going? A little kiss or whatever, a hug, that kind of thing lets that sort of person know that they're really cared for. And this all comes from the way we were raised too. So if you had a parent that wasn't really touchy-feely, maybe that doesn't really speak to you, but to other people it may. So you gotta just kind of keep that in mind. Know who you're dating, because it's important when they have expectations that you're going to reciprocate that love for them, that they feel loved in return. So keep all of those love languages in mind. Shake, 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 shake. Alright guys, so now I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about those fair fighting rules. That doesn't mean put up your dukes, right? So instead, before you begin an argument, ask yourself, why do I even feel upset in the first place? It's not fair to make the other person try and read your mind or anticipate why you're upset without you even having told them. But just think, when he doesn't take out the trash, I guess I kind of start to feel like maybe he doesn't care about us. Maybe he doesn't feel like a part of this family. So anyway, ask yourself those kinds of questions. Why am I even upset about this? Discuss one issue at a time. So don't just go throwing those grenades out there while there's a landmine ahead of you. So you gotta focus on the prize. If taking the trash out is really the source of the problem, focus on that. Don't get caught up in these distractions of other problems all over the place. So just focus on one issue at a time. If other things come up and you might think, wait a minute, maybe that's what I'm upset about instead, put it to the side, or let your partner know that. Perhaps maybe there's more than one issue, and that's totally okay as well. But you can say, we'll get back to that. First, let's figure out the trash thing. Secondly, let's figure out why I kind of get the feeling maybe you don't want to do equal share of work around here. just as an example. No degrading language. So no more name calling, no more a-hole, no more 4-letter words, no more idiots or putting down language. I know we all have a handful of those that we go to when we're really super mad, but you gotta throw those out. Especially if your kids ever hear you fighting, then you definitely don't want to teach them that kind of language. So just kind of keep that in mind. Express your feelings with words and take responsibility for them. So this can be hard, but this is what I statements are all about. So you can't just say anything you want because you put I feel in front of it, like I feel like you're really being a jerk right now. No, that's not a good I statement. Instead, try just taking accountability for your feelings and your feelings alone, and then letting the other person respond to that. So a better example might be, I feel like when you don't take the trash out that you don't really care how our house looks, or maybe you don't really care about your family. I know that might not be the truth, but that's how I feel. That's my truth. And so I want to talk about this. I want to come to a resolution about this. So after you're done taking those I statements out and using them, take turns talking. This is so hard to do. I know all you have to do is really listen, but we are also tempted to prepare our next argument up here in our brains while we're listening. So you really want to take that time, let the other person say all that they want to say. Don't worry about what you're going to say next. Just listen. And if you need to, respond with a question instead of a statement. So maybe saying, well, how did you get that I don't want to be a part of this family by not taking out the trash? I mean, I'm just not following there. Can you explain that more to me? Or how is it that this upsets you so much? I didn't really think it would. You know, all of those kind of questions that relate to what the other person is saying is the problem. That's really helpful. You're getting clarity on it, and sometimes you might find out that the problem's really not the problem after all. Alright, so next, no stonewalling. This is another toughie for some people because they think, you know what? We're in an argument, I'm just gonna shut down. I'm just not gonna respond. I'm not gonna talk to you. I might laugh and just pretend like everything's okay. But that can be just as upsetting to another person as that overt aggression can be. So you gotta keep in mind that just because you're not responding and maybe you think there's no win to the argument, you may be tapping into that other person's feelings of abandonment, and that can be really scary for them. So make sure that you're not just shutting down or ignoring them. Really, that's adding more fuel to the fire. No yelling. A lot of times we think that the loudest person wins, and this just isn't true because, like we know from those stonewallers, some people just shut up, quiet down, and pretend like you have your way so that we can move past this, you know. So try not to get too caught up in that. Take a time out if things get heated. Okay, guys, I know this sounds like you're 3-year-olds, but really this can be the most helpful when you get into that fight or flight stage. So I don't want anybody fighting. I don't want anybody flighting. You know, don't just take off and leave that other person anxious. Like, are we going to get back to this? Are we going to figure this out? Is he going to leave? Is she going to come back? None of that. With a timeout, you set a specific amount of time and you say, look, babe, I gotta go in the room or for a walk or wherever I'm gonna go, but I need 15 minutes to chill out and calm down and think about this, okay? And then we will come back and we'll readdress it. But right now, I'm just too mad to think. I'm too mad to come to a conclusion. So give me this amount of time, and then I promise we'll come back and we'll readdress it. That way you guys can be a little bit more rational about it, and it doesn't lead into any kind of putting hands on each other or saying things that you don't mean, because you're able to stop and cool off before it goes too far. And then attempt to come to a compromise. So figure out what it is you'd like the resolution to be. I'd like you to take out the trash, you know, like, okay, if that's really the problem, then that's what it looks like when you solve it. The trash is taken out, okay? I know this sounds like kind of a silly, very simple generalization or example to use, but sometimes these fights start over something that small and about what our expectations are or about what we interpret that to mean. So sometimes it's not necessarily just about that issue, but what it ignites inside of us to start feeling and interpreting. So keep that stuff in mind, guys, and then I hope that you have a very, very happy Valentine's Day. No fighting, everybody getting along and loving each other. Keep in mind each other's love languages and what speaks to them and what they would really like to receive, be it your attention or gifts or whatever. And even if you guys are single out there, just know there are tons of fish in the sea. And just like going on job interviews, every time you go out there, you figure out what you like and what you don't like, and that's getting you closer to your ideal partner. So stick with it. You guys are doing great. All right, if you need any more information, please go to my website at www.ftSolutions.org. That's FT like FamilyTherapySolutions.org, and leave me a message there if you need any other advice. And for now, I'm signing off, and I hope you guys have a really great February, okay? Take care. Bye.